Have you ever been in a conversation where you understood every single word the other person was saying, but when it was your turn to speak, your mind just went blank? It is the most frustrating feeling in the world. You have the thoughts, you know the grammar, but the words are stuck behind a wall of nervousness. You feel slow, you feel awkward, and you end up staying silent. Well, I have some news for you. That feeling is not permanent. Today, we are going to break down exactly how you move from just understanding English to actually speaking it with flow and confidence. We aren't relying on magic tricks. We're going to use the exact science of how the human brain acquires language. Let's get to work. Part 1. The Great Talent Myth. Narrator. First, we need to delete a very dangerous lie from your programming. A lot of learners believe that fluent speakers have a gift. They think you have to be born with a language brain to be good at conversation. Science tells us this is completely false. Conversation isn't a gift, it is a skill. Think about it like riding a bicycle, playing the piano, or cooking a meal. No one is born knowing how to chop vegetables or play a chord. You get better at those things through one thing only: repetition and practice. When you first start speaking, it is going to feel messy. You will think slowly. You will make mistakes. You will hunt for words. And I need you to know that this is 100% normal. Every single person you hear speaking fluent English today started exactly where you are right now. They started with broken sentences and simple words. The only difference between a beginner and a master is that the master didn't stop when it got difficult. They kept pedaling the bike until they stopped falling off. Part 2. The Trap of Perfectionism. Narrator. Now, let's talk about the biggest mistake I see beginners make. They try to sound like a university professor on day one. They want to speak fast and they want to use big, complicated words.
This is actually the wrong approach. When you try to force speed and complexity too early, your brain freezes. You get stressed and you stop speaking entirely. The secret is to start small. Use simple words. Use short sentences. If you don't know a specific word, don't freeze. Describe it. For example, if you forget the word for chef, just say, the person who cooks food in the restaurant. That is still communication. That is still valid conversation. Many people struggle because they are obsessed with translating every word perfectly from their native language. But if you want to learn how to stop translating in your head, you have to accept that simple communication is better than perfect silence. Your goal is to connect with another human being, not to be a walking dictionary. Grammar is important, yes, but don't let the fear of grammar stop you from opening your mouth. Part 3. The Power of Input. The ear versus the mouth. Here is a hard truth. You cannot output what you haven't input. You cannot withdraw money from a bank account you haven't deposited money into. Language enters through the ears before it comes out of the mouth. If you want to be a great speaker, you must be a great listener. When you listen to English every single day, your brain starts doing something amazing. It starts recognizing patterns. It learns how sentences are built, how words link together, and the natural rhythm or music of the language. This is what we call input. The more quality input you give your brain, the easier your speaking will be later. But here is where most people get it wrong. They listen to something once, understand the general idea, and move on. That is not enough. Part 4. The magic of repetition. We need to talk about repetition. I know, repetition sounds boring. You want new content, new videos, new excitement. But if you are serious about fluency, you need to fall in love with repetition. Here is the neuroscience behind it. When you hear a new phrase one time, your brain makes a tiny, weak connection. It's like a thin piece of thread. If you don't hear it again, that thread snaps and the memory disappears.
But if you listen to that same audio or read that same text again and again, today, tomorrow, next week, that thread becomes a string, then a rope, then a steel cable. When you listen to the same podcast episode or watch the same video multiple times, different things happen at different stages. The first time, you just get the general idea, the gist. The second time, you start catching specific words you missed before. The third time, you start noticing the grammar and the pronunciation. The fourth time, the language starts to become automatic. This automaticity is what we call fluency. It's when you can use the phrase without having to think about it. Part 5. Shadowing. Building muscle memory. Narrator. Once you have listened to something 3 or 4 times, you are ready for the ultimate exercise. This is the gym workout for your mouth. It is called shadowing. Shadowing is where you listen to the audio and you speak along with the speaker at the exact same time. You try to match their speed, their emotion, and their rhythm. If you want to understand fast English conversations, you have to practice speaking at that natural speed. At first, your tongue will feel like it's tied in knots. You will stumble. That's okay. You are building muscle memory. Just like a musician plays the same song 100 times to get it right, you need to practice these sounds until your mouth moves automatically. This technique bridges the gap between your brain knowing the word and your mouth actually being able to produce it. Part 6. No excuses, the solo practice plan. I hear a lot of people say, but I don't have a native speaker to practice with. I live in a country where no one speaks English. That is an excuse. You do not need a partner to practice conversation. In fact, some of the best practice happens when you are alone. You need to make English a part of your daily physical life. Narrate your day. When you are cooking, say out loud, "I am cutting the onions. The water is boiling." Self-interview. Ask yourself questions in the shower and answer them. What did I do yesterday? Well, I went to the store. Video reaction. Watch a short clip on YouTube, pause it, and try to describe what you just saw in simple English. It might feel a little strange talking to yourself at first, but this self-talk is powerful. It teaches your brain to retrieve English words quickly, so when you do meet a native speaker, the words are ready to go. Part 7. Consistency is king. Finally, let's look at your schedule. Speaking English is like going to the gym. If you go to the gym once a month for 5 hours, you won't get fit. You'll just get injured. But if you go for 15 minutes every single day, you will transform your body. The same is true for English. 15 minutes of focused listening and shadowing every day is infinitely better than studying for 2 hours once a week. Your brain needs that daily reminder, that daily stimulation to keep the connection strong. Conclusion: the journey to fluency. So here is your plan. Start today. Find a piece of audio, maybe a podcast or a video, and listen to it. Don't worry about understanding 100%. Listen to it again tomorrow, then try to shadow it. Talk to yourself while you make coffee. It takes time, and it is a journey. It's not a race. Every time you open your mouth to speak, even if you stumble, you are taking a step forward. You are building those muscles. And one day, you will realize something beautiful has happened. You won't be translating in your head anymore. You won't be thinking about the grammar rules. You will just be speaking. That is the goal. If you found value in this method and you are ready to take your English to the next level, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe to English Glow for more strategies to unlock your fluency. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.